Schools and colleges are going to die. A wide range of people believe this, but let's not follow blindly what's being said but have logical analysis. Logically speaking, there is no limit to what a person can do whether a person went to school or not. Even if you go to school, studied hard, by the time you land up in a job, you hardly have anything to do with knowledge gained from the college or school.
In fact, I think a lot of things people learn, probably there's no point in learning them. Because they never use them in the future. Because a lot of kids are just in school kind of puzzled as to why they're there.
According to industry specialists, people learn more in 1 month on a job training than the entire education obtained for logical application. Let's look back at our old school days. Take example of the brightest students. What were they good in? Memorizing, isn't it? Yes, even today, students who memorize maximum are the ones who score higher. In fact, this memorizing has nothing to do with intelligence.
So then, if on the one hand you're being asked to memorize or learn, say formulas, but you do not know why this is the case, then you have this cognitive dissonance of, it seems irrelevant, but I'm being told to remember it, so I'll be punished. so I better remember it. But so the why of things is very important, and
according to dictionary, intelligence is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. As you can see, you can score a good grade, but doesn't mean you're more intelligent or you're more innovative. In the real world or on a job, reference is readily available and you don't have to memorize a thing, but logical application works. Take a look at people from world's Billionaires Club. I can't seriously point out a single person who liked the idea of traditional academia. Instead, as brilliant as they are, they know school fees are skyrocketing for no reason but a traditional sort of business.
Negative impact on our economy right now. Kids can't graduate from school and go, lease new apartments or buy new homes or buy new cars or go out and buy a new suit. Instead, they've got to just, pay back their student loans. And that's a huge drain on our economy.
Taught. It isn't necessary to pay $30,000 or $35,000 a year to go to some big name school to get the education at all. I mean, if you're going to learn accounting, which is probably the most important course you'd take in business, if you're going to learn accounting, you can learn accounting absolutely as well, in my view, going to UNO as going to Harvard. I mean, I see, I'd bet on that. And so I wouldn't run up huge bills.
Elon Musk and many billionaires rightly pointed out those multiple times that schools are a place to hang out with friends, not for learning. If you're serious about learning, you can learn almost everything at home for free.
What are your thoughts on the innovations in education today? Thank you.
Just thoughts on education. I think there's maybe there are definitely some good schools out there, but I think some of the mistakes, at least in my opinion, that I see being made in education is that the teachers do not explain why kids are being taught a subject. Just sort of get dumped into math and well, why are you learning math? What's the point of this? This seems like for some people, maybe it's I don't know why I'm being asked to do these strange problems. But the why of things is extremely important, because our brain has evolved to not to discard information that it thinks has no relevance.
The people who are doing the work that we care about are figuring out what to do next, not following the person who told them what to do next. And the problem with most colleges is they are high school but with more binge drinking. The entire purpose of a good university is to give you a foundation to fail, not a foundation to get an A. And if you graduate from college with straight A's, you have to do some serious soul searching as to why you chose to spend your time doing that.
Well, oftentimes business education today, and I see it all the time, kids come out of college, the best colleges, Wharton and Harvard and Stanford and some of the great business schools, and they'll come out and they won't have practical experience. There's too many case studies that aren't practical.
The A students work for the B students, the C students run the businesses, and the D students dedicate the buildings.
Kind of a problem, and then using various educational tools to solve that problem, like using math or physics or economics to solve that problem, is far more engaging than teaching the tools. It's the difference between if you say, well, we're going to take apart this engine and see how it works and put it back together again. And then in order to take the engine apart, we need wrenches and screwdrivers and a winch and Allen keys and whatnot. And then in the course of solving the problem of taking the engine apart and putting it back together, you learn about wrenches and screwdrivers and all the tools that you need. And then now you understand the relevance. This is why wrenches are important.
I mean, it's actually kind of funny. If you think of like what is education, like you're basically downloading data and algorithms into your brain, and it's actually amazingly bad in conventional education because like it shouldn't be like this huge chore. You've got someone standing up there kind of lecturing at people, and they've done the same lecture 20 years in a row, and they're not very excited about it.
It's like the newspaper industry, right? More printing presses, more big buildings, right? Makes us look grander. We have brains that we're putting them out there. There's a point of diminishing returns in terms of what it's worth for a college education and how much debt you're willing to saddle yourself with.
We ask kids that are 16 to 18 years old to make $100,000 debt decisions when they go off to university. And they're not prepared for that. They don't know what they're getting themselves into. They just assume, okay, I'm going to pay 4 years of education at $25,000 a pop, and when I come out the other side, somehow I'll be able to pay it back.
Right.
That's not how life works anymore.
I know you're still thinking that a college certificate is necessary to be eligible for a job. Well, that's not the case anymore. Google, Apple, Hilton, IBM, SpaceX, Tesla, etc. list goes on to hundreds. These companies do not ask for degrees anymore. Instead, your credibility, experience, and soft skills place more value in company building and innovation. Amazon recently announced that it aimed at helping 29 million people worldwide retrain by 2025. Giving them new skills for cloud computing roles. This is a good example to open our eyes to see the least use of college-gained knowledge. Nowadays, companies want to train their own employees to gain the optimum productivity possible. Companies like Google, TCS, Accenture, Microsoft, etc. have their own certification programs. These programs like data analytics, financial management, business analytics, cybersecurity, etc. prepares you for job and will help you innovate products or services. Look at the IT industry, for example. Data science, AI, and ML are hottest hiring search profiles. Learning them requires no college background. Companies have hired people to train these skills, and currently this is one of the highest paid entry-level jobs. I'm not saying that schools are useless or are a waste. A great deal of knowledge comes through them, and we need schools to learn basic manners and to learn how to read and write. But I will say that it is nothing much more than that. As billionaires used to say, almost half the time of our life is spent in education. We need to think about this seriously. Spending a big fraction of our life into things that really don't matter? Every minute of our life counts. Make it worth. Let me know in the comment section below on what you think about education, while keeping in mind that education and learning is different. Until then, I have to sign off. See you in the next video.